Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to This Is a Work. My name is David Hensley. I'm the owner and creative director of Long Walk Productions, and I am here to introduce your host, David Two Doggz Hayes.
Well, thank you very much, David Hensley, and welcome to the greatest pay-per-view review podcast ever. This is a work. I am your host, David Two Doggz Hayes, and with me, my tag team partner, perhaps the greatest tag team partner ever, Chris, the Fashion Plate Barnes. How the hell are you, sir?
How dare you embarrass me like that in front of guests?
Well, we couldn't have the greatest podcast ever without the greatest guest ever, and that would be one of my dear friends, Dustin Fowler, a.k.a. Dustin Destiny. How the hell are you, man?
Well, doing pretty good. Pretty good. Couldn't say so much after watching this thing that you forced me into watching.
Are you mad at me now?
I was that night.
It did give him the greatest headache ever.
It did.
Well, Dustin, I want to put you over for a couple of minutes, if you'll indulge me. A former local Lincolnton celebrity, probably the greatest babyface wrestler that Lincolnton, North Carolina has ever seen, likening to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, I might say.
Yeah, I was on the front page of the Lincoln Times.
That's yeah, there you go, and that
Twice.
is no small feat. Twice. They got the top of my head on the Lincolnton Times one time. It was, local jobber does.
I mean, do you mean it was in the paper or someone threw it at your head?
Well, that happened too, but Lincolnton has not been kind to me. So yeah, we watched WWE Backlash 2020. Inside of that match, or that pay-per-view, was the greatest wrestling match ever. I don't know, man. I wanted to try to be a little more positive. But before we do that, before we get into this, let's talk to Dustin a little bit here. Dustin, a former pro wrestler, Lincolnton based. Put yourself over a little bit. Let's talk about it.
Well, enjoyed it for a couple years. I was telling the guys earlier, once my son was born, had to back away and, take care of the dad thing.
Right on.
But, wrestling was in my blood forever. Tried to kind of wean myself off of it, not being in the business, because it's kind of like a little stab watching it when you're not getting to do it anymore.
Yeah, it stings a little, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's especially when you watch people like Cedric Alexander come up through the ranks, because I don't know, I don't think you ever saw him, but he was a friend of the federation that you and I were with, and we watched him make it all the way to the show. We watched a couple other people. I'll just say his name. Billy McGee rise to the ranks. Was on Hulk Hogan's. Was it called midget wrestling, or was it micro wrestling? What was it called?
I think it was micro.
Hulk Hogan's Micro Wrestling Federation, and our guy Billy McGee won the thing. I don't think he went by Billy McGee, but
he's always Billy McGee.
Yeah, he's Billy McGee to me. So yeah, let's talk about this pay-per-view. So we started things out with the kickoff show, and we have Apollo Crews versus Andrade for the U.S. title. Barnes, what do you got here?
Well, I think I came in when that one was ongoing.
Yeah.
From what I saw, it was a pretty fun match. I mean, both of those guys are really good at what they're doing right now.
Right. See, now for me, I'm quite sure Dustin's going to be a lot harsher about this.
Yeah.
Apollo Crews is a damn fun wrestler, and so is Andrade. The problem here is he's got the U.S. title, or he had the U.S. title, and that's great. Too little, too late for me. They've been jobbing him out for years now. And, well, he goes over in this match, and I don't care.
Right.
Because I've lost all belief in Apollo Crews. He's got $1 million body. He's a great worker, and he is boring as all hell. Dustin, what are your thoughts?
Well, that'd be the perfect Vince staple.
Yeah,
kind of. And it's something they like to do with their guys. Is like they put them on a losing streak, and then suddenly they're on top.
Yeah.
You can't make everybody the underdog before trying to give them the push.
No, you can't, because there's some guys, Apollo, that are they're just not going to rise to the occasion. And like I say, he's a fantastic talent, but it's way too little, way too late. And as of, what was it, Monday? He lost the belt on Monday, so he's not even the champion anymore, so it's back to the job squad. I don't know. The match was good. I gave it a 3, but at the same time, I don't care. Do we have any more thoughts on this kickoff show?
Not especially. I wasn't like super paying attention, honestly.
The only thing I've got with it is, again, this is all pre-recorded now and everything.
Oh,
and they're not $50 and $60 pay-per-views. They're part of your $10 a month subscription.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you having a quote-unquote pre-show? To me, you're pissing all over one of your belts by doing that.
Yeah.
Now, here's the U.S. title, but it's not even worthy.
Title,
It's not even worthy of being a pay-per-view. That's not a pay-per-view.
And the belt doesn't matter anymore. We've run this belt into the ground to where nobody cares whether or not this belt is even there. And also we had the IC tournament, which we never even saw in this pay-per-view.
The finals?
Yeah.
It was Bryan and AJ Styles, wasn't it?
Yeah, and AJ Styles went over in that one. And I don't know, what are your thoughts on AJ Styles? I know at one point I was a fan of AJ Styles many years ago. What are your thoughts now?
So again, you've got so there's a complete disconnect with me and wrestling. Like I was telling the guys earlier, this is the second WWE show I've seen in the past decade. So,
wow.
Yeah, they really.
This man is bitter.
And you know what? Sunday showed me why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you picked the right one for him to watch. Right?
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, for
right?
me to stay bitter, this was definitely the. But going back to AJ, when I did watch wrestling regularly, and he was on TNA and all, AJ was a hell of a worker.
Oh,
I mean, that
fantastic.
I think he single-handedly kept TNA up.
Oh, without question. He was the
3 years
franchise of TNA. Yeah.
From the little bit I did get to see Sunday, that's not the case.
Now he's Jeff Jarrett now. He's still a great talent, but again, nobody cares. And now he's got the IC title, and it doesn't matter. And well, moving into the main card. Oh boy, we have the Boston Hug Connection.
Oh, right.
Better known as Bailey and the Legit Botch, Sasha Banks.
How long have you been workshopping that one?
I got to bed around 4 last night. We also have the stars of this is Bliss Cross Applesauce.
Yes.
With Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. And then we have the Iconics. I gotta tell you, I still like the Iconics. They're just terrible. But I love them.
Yeah.
And I've only run across this a couple of times with just any wrestler that's that bad that I can't wait to see. Dustin, let me start with you. What were your thoughts on this match?
Well, going with the old school mentality, thing number one, I cannot stand when you've got a tag team that doesn't have a tag team name. I again, knowing nothing about going into this, I liked the Iconics. Because hey, look, they're dressed the same. They've got a tag.
They got a tag name.
Okay,
Yeah,
they've got music. They're coming out at the same time.
Yeah, they're dedicated to being a team.
They're a tag team. The other two obviously were not. So instantly, that's
right.
I see that Vince is still doing I'm going to take random person that I don't know what I'm doing with, and this other random one that's the same, and we're going to make them a tag team for a little bit.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. Now Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross have been a tag team for a while now, even, and they're pretty good together. If we could just get them dressing alike, and I'm sorry, Robert Bradford called this a long time ago, Bliss Cross Applesauce. I don't know what else you want in a tag team. It's right there. But no, we're still the team of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
And also, it's the funny thing is, I didn't think about this till right now, but Bailey and Sasha and Nikki and Alexa are the heel and face of the same gimmick. It's like they're just best friends.
That's it. So we are continuing the storyline with Bailey and Sasha about...
Will they, won't they?
Yeah.
Break up, I mean.
Yeah. We're continuing that storyline. That's the one thing that I do like about Bailey. And Bailey's probably, in this group of people, she's probably the best one there. In fact, I can say that pretty much hands down. Terrible on the mic, but her improv stuff and then getting her heat, it's funny stuff. I liked it. As for the match itself, spotty as hell and blown spots galore. Double D, what do you got?
To include the finish, the blown. I mean,
oh god,
it's a simple roll up, and you can't even hook the arm on the shoulder when you do it.
Yeah,
that's pitiful. It's like day 2 training.
Exactly.
my favorite part was there was a segment of the match where it was like they seemed to be stuck, and the idea that people kept coming up with to go on was run to the Iconics corner and hit one of them.
Right.
It happened like three times within like 2 minutes.
It's the craziest thing, man. It's and why? I want to know who the writer was that said, let's do a triple threat tag match where tags are a part of the match. What? It's just chaos. You can't keep track of anything. How is this? What the hell? I mean, somebody, tell me something here. I hated this match. I hated it so much. Boston Hug Connection retain.
Via question mark.
I gave it a 1.5. I think I was being generous.
Yeah.
I really not. I mean, even just having time to think about it, it's just there was nothing there.
No, there's really not. Because I had to go back and watch it a second time. And since the one good thing about COVID-19 that has happened, we now have shorter matches. So we've got shorter pay-per-views. This probably...
Yeah, I was about to say, we might have shorter pay-per-views. We definitely do not have shorter matches.
Yeah, you're right.
Spoiler alert for the end.
When we get there, I think most of us were yelling at some point for that match to end.
We're going to talk about that. What's that?
I was going to say too, the complete. I know it's been mentioned before, but the lack of a crowd is just so. It makes a cringe match like this one just so much more unbearable. That, I mean, you want to like gouge your eyes out. There's nothing. There's no crowd interaction, and crowd interactions we've seen before with plenty of Hulk Hogan matches. Crowd interaction can save mediocre or even poor matches sometimes.
Oh, definitely.
And it just glaring spotlight.
Also, there's a glaring difference between what WWE is doing versus AEW.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if WWE is clearly very tightly regulating how they react and what they're supposed to do, AEW has just got their talent in the crowd, and they're just like, be you.
Yeah, just do what you do.
Because there's a smart difference. At AEW, everyone's around and having a good time, and it's not a full crowd, but you feel the crowd act energy.
The WWE crowd is literally the video game crowd from like WWF 60 Nintendo 64 game.
Oh, yeah.
They are that wooden and cardboard.
It absolutely is. The crowd that they've got in there now are all trainees from the Performance Center, and and they're being told when to cheer, when to boo, and what to chant. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. It's, oh my God. Yeah, 1.5 for this thing, and I'm being very generous. So next up, we have Jeff Hardy.
Hold on. I had one little note I had to write down on it. So in between this match, they show Braun Strowman show up in the crowd or show up in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
And I just had to write this down that I find it amazingly hilarious to watch this giant beast of a man come out with this tiny little suitcase and then roll it on his little tiny little suitcase wheels. I just thought that was absolutely ridiculous.
It's like it's his first day of school. It's
it's like the mountain with his Pomeranian.
Yeah, it's where are we going, Thunder? So next up we have Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. I like Sheamus. We've had a couple discussions about Sheamus back in the day, before he got roided up and monstrous. I didn't like Jeff Hardy way back when. I can't stand him now.
So how dare you, Doggz? This is serious.
I know, and
this is super serious.
And this makes it even worse. We're actually running story about his addiction. Now, can you guys? You're both somewhat wrestling historians. Can you tell me when we have ever done a true to life addiction and made it part of the story that actually worked?
Oh, well, with that condition, I can tell you the last time Jeff Hardy did it was when he was feuding with Punk.
I'm trying to think. The last time that I remember seeing it was actually with Scott Hall in WCW.
I think later than that was when Vince did it with Hawk.
Was it later or earlier?
No, I think went the Hawk angle.
It was around the same time.
It was within a couple of years of each other. It was close.
Where Droz was using it to kick him out of the
LED.
Yeah.
And he
fell off the Titantron. Yep.
And just a little bit behind the 8 ball there. Oh God, that was so bad. And this was no different. So we start the vignette with Jeff Hardy having to do a piss test.
Well, that's the best part, because there's this super serious storyline of are you really still? It was like Sheamus is berating him for his addictions and all that. We have this Vince Can't Resist this big comedy spots where Jeff Hardy goes around, takes his piss test, and comes out with what has to be a liter of liquid inside that fucking tube.
Yeah.
And I'm almost positive the doctor that did, I'm going to have to go back and look at this, but I'm pretty sure
he was
the doctor that did the piss test was the same guy that did the wedding for Bobby Lashley and Lana.
It's a man of many talents.
Yeah, the economy's tough right now, Doggz. You got to make money where you can. If you can be both a doctor and officiate weddings, then you are rolling in dough.
I'm never going to forget that wedding as long as I live. Where you can see he's memorized the lines. Excuse me, but who are you? And
That's probably why he didn't speak in that segment.
right.
Oh, the segment which ends with that beaker of quote unquote pee being thrown in Sheamus' face.
So full.
So full.
Oh my God.
I don't
So
think a horse could piss.
No.
That's threw it in his face. His mouth was open. You know what? I'd be mad too. I don't blame Sheamus.
Reminder: this is a very serious
Serious
storyline where Sheamus framed Jeff Hardy for a hit and run.
Right. So what happened up in Mooresville a couple of months ago could very well have been Sheamus.
Yes.
There's no way of knowing. So this match.
Easiest way to hide is in plain sight.
Yeah. So this match happens. I don't know, man. Jeff, he's just getting old. He doesn't look good.
Well, towards the end, didn't he fall off a turnbuckle?
Yeah, blown a few spots. There was one in particular where they went outside and Sheamus, he went to do a, God, I can't remember exactly what it was. I think he was diving off the apron.
Yeah.
And he got dangerously close to that turn post, and Sheamus saved him. And I don't know. There's a lot wrong with this pay-per-view, and we aren't getting better. Dustin, what are your thoughts here?
Well, I was shocked at the first of the match because there was actual psychology involved.
Mm-hmm.
There was, yes.
Typical, little guy against a big guy. Hardy's attacking the leg. It's like, hey, look, this is... And in typical Vince fashion, a couple minutes later, all of it's gone and it never happened, so what was the point of even doing it in the first freaking place?
Right.
And after all of these years, I know Hardy didn't keep his face painted forever, but at some point in the past 2 decades, could he not talk to Sting or Muda, somebody?
This keeps coming up. Katie keeps talking about that.
His face paint, like with Sting and Muda, even Warrior, like their face paint helped sell the match.
Right.
When Sting's face paint's coming off, it's because he's been in half an hour of Flair and he's been getting his face kicked in. Same with Muda. Jeff Hardy comes out, strips his little fishnets off, and his face paint's halfway gone.
Right.
Well, that's I brought up. It's actually Dave's wife, Katie, who watches with us. She's been talking about it and noticing it every time we watch Hardy.
It's so terrible.
It just melts off of him within the first couple minutes.
There's a specific makeup brand of that she keeps bringing up that should really be a sponsor of this fucking show by now, because every time
I have a setting spray.
Yeah, thank you. I cannot remember the brand, the makeup company, but every time I'm like, we need to reach out to them. We could be making so much money off these people.
Thank you,
You're right.
Katie Bearden.
Whatever it is is clearly the cheap stuff, because it's
worse than the cheap
you look
stuff.
at it funny and it's half off.
The dollar tubes that you get at Walmart prior to Halloween,
Right.
Yeah.
provide better face paint than whatever Hardy does.
And not only that, but back in the day when he first started putting the face paint on, he was getting complaints because the face paint would rub off on other people, and they're like, "Good God, man! What are you doing?" And you would think after like 3 years of that, and 3 years worth of complaining, he would say, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. But no, Jeff Hardy is true to himself, and he wants his face paint, and by gum, he's gonna have it.
I mean, the sad thing is he's gotten proficient at it. It looks good while it's on.
Yeah.
The whole walk to the ring.
Yeah. The minute he starts sweating, it's gone.
It just kind of, I don't know. It feels like it's a purposeful thing at this point, because it just it's his thing, and he wants the paint on, but he just wants it off as quick as possible.
Right.
It reminds me about Mick Foley talking about having the Mankind mask and hating it, or it was so uncomfortable to a point where before he kind of ditched it forever, he would just find every excuse to yank it off.
Yeah. So this match, it
happened.
It happened. I'll be honest. It was the best thing we've seen so far. Because we there was a little bit of story, and we started going in a direction, and there's a little bit of an angle here as well. I went ahead and gave it a 2.5. It was also kind of short, and I was happy about that too. So, what do you think, Dustin?
Well, the one thing Hardy has always been able to do, and he still is able to apparently, is he plays a good ragdoll.
Mm-hmm.
He does.
He's always been a good ragdoll. So against a bigger guy, that looks good. The points that he is getting tossed around and not botching stuff. But and one other thing I had to, how is it that you've got the Celtic Warrior, whiter than white, red hair, Sheamus, and why are you calling that the Texas Cloverleaf? Like, why is it not the Irish cloverleaf?
Right.
I mean, that's just it's a cloverleaf.
The 4-leaf clover.
Yeah,
the
the 4-leaf clover would have been better. Yeah.
I mean, it's already a cloverleaf.
Because we're already calling it the brogue kick and the Celtic knot, but we've got a Texas cloverleaf.
The Irish curse.
Yeah, the Irish curse. Right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, because Jeff Hardy's got a stupid name for every single move he does.
Yeah, Whisper in the Wind. Which
yeah.
Don't tell me he was not on the heron when he came up with that.
Twist of fate.
Twist of fate.
Everything. But yeah, I've got a big 1.5 there.
Right.
So,
see, I told you he was going to be harsher than me.
So what was the point of the end of the match where the man who's been ridiculing and running down Jeff Hardy and framing him for very serious crimes just soundly beats him?
Yeah, beat him clean, too.
Yeah. Oh, clean. Yeah, soundly in the middle of the ring.
Because fuck you, wrestling.
I guess.
That's
what's Hardy's contract look like?
Well, it's supposed to be. He was supposed to be up when Jeff's was up, but Matt's. I'm sorry. But his got extended for a few months because of him being out of action for his misdemeanors, and I believe he also had an injury too. So
are we at the end of the few months?
Maybe
that's the point of the match.
Getting there. Yeah,
yeah, we're getting there. I want to say it's probably going to be in July or August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will point out the other funniest part of this whole thing was after showing the lead up and Sheamus getting doused in the face, it then cuts to a promo from Sheamus, who proceeds to give a good, sinister, kind of quiet promo. But all I'm thinking about is I just saw you get slashed in the face with a lot of Jeff Hardy pee.
Yeah.
You're not selling me on you should. I mean, honestly, you should be raving mad or something like that. It's just like because quiet and calculating isn't going to work at this point.
No, and honestly, good on Sheamus for whooping his ass. Because if you throw pee on me, we're fighting. I mean, that's happening, bud.
Yeah, points to him for keeping his cool.
Yeah, I don't care what kind of a jerk I've been to you. If you throw pee on me, no, we're rolling. Moving into, boy, these just keep getting better and better. Asuka versus Nia Jax. Good God.
Remember that time Nia almost killed Asuka?
Remember those several times she almost killed Kairi Sane.
Mm-hmm. Well, on the last episode of This Is a Takeover, Shelby and Gina and I were talking about how a lot of this is the same reason that people watch NASCAR, which is I want to see somebody wreck and die. Well, we damn near watched Nia Jax murder Asuka Sunday night.
Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you what, man, that is something to behold. I've never seen a tiny Asian woman carry a match with a 300-pound Samoan.
Mm-hmm.
She's huge.
I mean, and with Nia Jax on her back, she worked, what was it, like about 13 minutes.
I'm sure it felt like forever.
They botched that one spot that when they both went over the top rope. She was supposed to hold on. Fortunately, Asuka was so good, she quickly threw that spinning arm bar, which I love that move. and got right back on it. But I don't know, the bad stuff, man. Bad match. No meat on this bone. Dustin, what are your thoughts? Yeah. You want to take your time. Take your time.
So again, it's my first time getting to watch either of these. Painfully obvious who's there for size and who's there for talent. Because man, Nia Jax is huge, and it's about all I can say about that.
Yeah.
Too.
She's a marketable gimmick, but she's hurt so.
She's got
many
such a track
people.
record of hurting people.
I'm not saying I want her to get fired, because I do think that we can make money with her. Mm-hmm. You got to send her back down, and she needs retraining, and just. You got to calm the hell down, because she's injuring people and she's using that as her gimmick. Well, hell, nobody's going to want to work with you. I mean, I don't care if they like her or not. I mean, there are people that do not want to work with the woman anymore.
Yeah, I would need reassurances that nothing terrible is going to happen to me once she has her hands on me.
Yeah, if I were Asuka in this, I would you're going to hit your main spots, and I'm going to keep this match on the ground, and God help you if you pick me up. If you better make sure I don't get up, because I will kill you. Oh man, Dustin, what do you got here?
Well, it was bad. Then it got worse.
Yeah.
Then to rub salt in the wound, the ghost of Dusty Rhodes gave us a double count out.
That's right.
That's another one. I forgot about that.
So, yeah.
This is a women's title match. What are we, a double count out in a pay-per-view? What the hell is that? This is...
I think you were more on the money when you said, what kind of hell? What kind of hell is that?
Okay, look.
Easily 6th, 7th circle.
Now, I'm going to beat this to the punch, because I feel like this is already in Dustin's head, and he wants to say it, but is probably going to shy away from it. When I was booking in the past, I have done a super show where I have done a double DQ or a double countout. I remember the match that I did it. I regret the result, and I grew from it. However, I was a young booker, and I was not making any money. This is a multi-billion-dollar organization. I am more than certain they've done double DQs and double countouts before.
Oh, totally.
They should know better. I learned the hard way. What's their story?
And again, with the no crowd thing, like, you don't even get the heat from doing that.
No.
I mean, as shitty of a finish as a double count out it always has been, at least when there's a crowd, you've at least got the crowd hates us all.
Right.
But you don't even get that small, barely tangible benefit out of this.
Right.
It's just
then
terrible.
at least you can jump on that and go, yeah, we don't like it either. Boo that this happened. That's horrible. We'll set something up and make it definitive next time.
And that was the one saving grace that I'm going to give it. I think what they're doing here is, because it was a double count out, next pay-per-view is going to be Extreme Rules.
So Nia will finally kill
we can't have a double count out or a double DQ.
Tonight, live homicide, because Nia's going to kill somebody.
Yeah, I gave this match a 1.5.
So is Nia like somehow related to New Jack?
Well,
I mean, you got the same initials and the same work ethic.
Right. Well, I think New Jack does it. You know what? I can't.
Well, New Jack does it out of spite. Nia does it because she can't do it any other way.
You know what? No, I'm going to stop this right now because I don't know where New Jack is. And I love New Jack. I think he's a wonderful, God-fearing man that loves his mother and loves this country and loves this world. And I would never do anything or say anything to besmirch the good name of New Jack. Please don't stab me. Think that did it? Good.
If not, I'll put a note in the show notes. New Jack, please don't stab dogs.
Right on. Okay. Whew. That got... So next up, we have a universal title match, guys.
Yeah.
This is one of the things we came to see.
Ostensibly, yes.
Braun Strowman, yours, mine, all of us, our universal champion versus Eminem, The Miz, and John Morrison. Okay. I like the video.
Yeah, I mean,
the video was funny. I was actually disappointed that that Strowman came out in the middle of it.
Yeah,
It was actually enjoyable.
It's a lot of fun.
It was far funner than the piss skit.
I mean, honestly, the build up was actually pretty fun to watch too. It was just like they've just decided to be just total little bastards. Just prank him heavily is like their plan.
That's exactly what it was. It's it honestly it reminded me a little bit of WrestleMania with Mojo and Gronk.
Yeah, kind of.
With them, they had a sleepover. They spent the night in the van. They went out. They trashed somebody's car. They, oh God, we're going to get in trouble. Let's go hide. And Braun finds them, flips it over, and it's so.
Well, no, they had the van that every prank show has ever had when they're watching watching their prank go down, where they're watching the monitors.
Yeah. That part was a lot of fun.
And then it ended.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I didn't hate this match.
No.
This match was what it should have been. If you have to do a handicap match, then with a tag team, former tag team champions, this is only going to end one way. It's gonna end with the two fighting, which we started to see, but didn't really like. We didn't even do that part right.
I think they were kind of trying to play it off as Miz instinctively just trying to go stop Morrison because he wants to be champion.
Right.
But it was like, oh God, you kind of realized, oops, no, we're a team.
Which they had said though the person that gets the pinfall
is the champion. Yeah.
Is going to be the champion. We're not going to have Freebird rules.
Yeah.
Here.
Which I personally would like to see. Actually,
I wouldn't have minded seeing. That would have made it more interesting. That kind of would have been fun to see, especially if they'd gone over. But that's not what we got here. What we did get was Braun squashing Miz and Morrison, and I love the Miz. I used to not. I've gained some respect for him. The John Morrison, I've always liked John Morrison. The guy's got $1 million body. He's a great technician. He's a great high flyer. He can go. I want to see some gold around his waist. Not the tag team. Let's put that IC belt. Let's put that US title on him. Let's make it mean something. And I think he's the guy to do it. However, that's not what we got here. We got Braun squashing Miz and Morrison. I don't really have any notes on this one. Dustin, what do you think?
The only note I really had was that just monster faces don't work.
No.
The monster heel is great. The monster face is terrible. There's nothing redeemable about having a monster as the face.
Yeah.
I kind of always argued against Braun getting the belt just because it was, now that he has it, now what? Now he's had a match where he's beaten 2 guys at once. Now who's going to fight him?
Right. The same thing with him getting the tag team championship with a child, what was it, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
And then he just had to give it up the next day because, well, he's, my partner was a child. It's a school night. He's got to go. This match was okay. It was fun, but I don't know if I would call it necessarily good or not.
It would have been more fun, or at least made more sense to me without a title involved.
Right. I had a good time watching Miz and Morrison. I gave it a 3. It's passable for what we had. What do you think, Dustin?
I got a 2.
Yeah,
I got a 2. It's like I said, the whole. I just can't get over the monster face. It's just such a bad idea for me. It's always has been. Unless
we're talking about Andre the Giant, then I tend to agree. If you're I'm about to another T-shirt idea. It's coming. If you're over 300 pounds and you're getting close to that 7 foot, you're a monster. I don't want you to talk, and I don't want you to be nice. And there you go.
I like how now there are amendments to the original statement. Originally it was just, if you're over 300 pounds, you're a monster and I don't want to hear you talk. Yeah. And now it's, and I don't want you to be nice. Right. This pillow is starting to get filled up very quickly.
I'll make an exception to the talking rule if it's Andre just screaming Hulk Hogan's name over and over.
Yeah. If you just constantly have, oh, God,
yes.
I want squish. So we're going to move on. I actually enjoyed this match, and I probably shouldn't have. We have a WWE World Title match. Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. Yeah, I know. I see the look on your face. I see it. Bobby is getting better.
He is. I won't deny it.
It is a slow burn.
But he ain't there yet.
He ain't. No, he's not. We got the long tights on him,
which I am in favor of.
Yeah, he looks good with the long. This is going to kill my point, but I'm going to say it anyway. He has a Zeus no holds barred look to him now.
Kind of. I think in general the long tights accentuate the strongman type of appeal that he has.
Right. Mm-hmm. I can dig it. Dustin, what do you think?
Well, again, have not seen it in forever. I was shocked to see that Bobby Lashley was still somehow around and getting a title shot. And then knowing again that, everything's pre-recorded, how many times did Lashley botch something in that match for them to have to show him almost kill McIntyre on the outside of the ring? Another
time. That was something else. I'm glad you brought that up. That was another time. One wrestler saved another wrestler's life. That was that happened outside the ring too. What the hell was that?
What was it?
No, that was McIntyre saving his own life.
Well,
from Bobby Lashley.
Right.
Well, I know there was the spot where Lashley was supposed to end up getting whipped over the rail or the barrier, and he didn't clear it. I don't, because it
was that what it was?
Because that didn't look to me like he was always meant to go into the barrier. It looked like he was supposed to go over it.
I felt like this was a dive or something.
What else? I can't remember what else there was.
It's been a week,
yeah.
So, and I think I've only watched it for the second time on Tuesday, so it's been a long ways off. But
you're right. There was something. Where I think everyone kind of noticed. Was like, oh no.
Yeah. This was outside the ring, and Lashley was attempting to go for, I don't know if you're trying to do a neck breaker or trying to throw McIntyre at the barricade or something, but he literally almost dropped him on his head.
I do remember that. I do. I don't know what he was going for.
Yeah.
it was something weird, and it didn't. and McIntyre almost died.
Which, I mean, it worked because McIntyre, been selling his neck the entire match, so I guess Lashley was just helping him out.
Right. No.
You don't have to sell it now. Here, I'm going to hurt your neck for real.
Right. Now, speaking of the neck, we did have we had some story in this. We started out with the full Nelson. I like that Bobby Lashley is using the full Nelson. Number one, it's a wrestling move. So right off the bat, and I've always been a fan of the full Nelson anyway, especially when big guys are using it.
Well, like I said, they've done that a few times where they, specifically with the full Nelson, where they've had guys where they sell it, how a legit tough move it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so we started this match out with him. Before the bell rings, he gets it. He goes ahead and he locks it in. So now he's selling the neck the whole time. And I enjoyed that aspect of it. We're creating a little bit of story. We're creating an angle in the match, and it was good to see. And that's kind of my point. Where Bobby, he's getting better. Somebody's talking to him. That's evident to me, because otherwise it's just move after move after move, and it makes no sense what he's doing. There's somebody that's getting on to him. So it's like I said, he's getting better. It's a real slow burn. What do you got, D?
I will give the little bit of credit. Now, the McIntyre, again, I haven't seen him before, but dude looks pretty good.
He's great. He's
just the psychology and the selling and everything with the neck from the get-go. 15 minutes into the match, he's still, it's not one of those typical things you see where somebody sells something like they're about to die for a couple minutes, and then later on it's like, oh, this never happened.
Right.
He carried that through, even to after the match. When he's raising his hand up, it's still like, oh God, my neck's killing me. There was a little submission sequence towards the close of the match with Lashley and McIntyre going back and forth, counter submission holds that I really, really dug. Lashley actually looked good during that one little section. and he did, like you guys were talking about the full Nelson. I mean, he's a beast. Yeah. So that's something legit. Like, any of us that have little brothers can tell you full Nelson works.
There it is, brother. There it is. It's a move that I would almost argue everybody that's ever watched a wrestling match has put somebody in a full Nelson. I feel like I can say that and with impunity. Or at least been put in a full Nelson.
Yeah, it's like one of the first moves you see you kind of figure out on your own.
Yeah, between that and the figure four.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, baby. Oh, we're going to talk about Rick here in a minute. Because I believe it was right after that. I gave this match, Drew McIntyre goes over fairly clean.
He wins because Lana, who had been instructed to stay in the back, came out, gets on the ring to argue with the ring side to argue with the ref.
God damn it, I forgot about Lana.
Yeah, Bobby almost knocks into her, manages to stop, but then does get knocked into her.
Well, Dustin, what are your thoughts on Lana? You have no idea who this is, do you?
No, but now that you've brought that up, I did know who MVP was. As disgusted as I was to see Lashley coming out and being in a match, I guess it's PTSD. I'd actually completely erased MVP being there from my mind until Chris just brought up Lana, and it made me remember, wow, that worthless slug MVP was there.
Yeah.
And in his heyday, it was terrible.
Thank you.
And then he went to TNA for a hot minute, and then disappeared again until
disappeared.
they brought him back.
Yes.
So my only thoughts on Lana were, I haven't seen her or know anything about her, but she can't be as terrible as MVP. And God, why is he there?
Oh, let me tell you, brother. They put the three worst people together: Bobby Lashley, Lana, and MVP. Now, honestly, I think MVP is... I got to be careful how I say this.
Don't you use anything that remotely says good.
I think it's positive for Bobby because he can't he needs a manager. And MVP is able to cut a promo.
He's able to talk.
I watched you say those words out loud at once, and it looks like someone cut together 3 different sentences you said.
I'm pretty sure he was vomiting in his mouth between each of those words.
I think it's helpful.
It is.
It is. It's always good for somebody like Lashley, the Lesnar route. You've got a beast. You've got this unstoppable monster. Mm-hmm. That's always been the case. Give them a mouthpiece to do all their promos and everything else. But my God, there are
especially because Lashley
hundreds.
Is in his own nature, just very soft spoken.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many more options out there.
There is.
There really are. I mean, there are so many people.
I mean,
and the manager is a lost art. I'm trying to think. I think we have one. Well, unless you count Zelina Vega.
I do, actually. She's
really good.
Because, I mean, also with Garza and Andrade, she actually is directing them. She's not
That's
just
true.
out there with them.
You're right.
Because after they lost in the pre-show, she was berating them.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely... So we have 2. We have Zelina Vega and we have Heyman.
Yes.
I'm trying to think in AEW... I mean, we got Tully, but he's more. He's not really a manager.
Yeah, he's not always there. But he did berate.
And you've got Arn.
There is Arn. There is Jake the
with
Snake.
Cody, but Arn's not a great manager. I know. I love Arn, but he's not a great. He's a coach.
Yeah, he is. He's literally dressed like a coach.
Yeah, and he's got the
he's got the
play sheet, and he's covering his mouth. It's great stuff. You need to watch some AEW.
I do.
Jake.
You do? Oh, okay.
Jake kind of does fulfill that role somewhat.
Oh, that's right. We do have Jake the Snake, and he's good. Okay, so we've got a few.
Taz is currently doing that with Brian Cage.
Yes, he is. Okay. All right. So we have some managers here.
So once again, we're saying AEW is doing better at another aspect.
Far superior.
Oh yeah.
Even their insane clips that they want to do for their main event, the Arena Stampede. Good God. I mean, you can't call it a wrestling match, but
no.
God, it was so much more entertaining.
It was nuts in a good way.
Piece that
going back to the Lashley thing,
please.
Again, I haven't watched it, but I keep up with
you remember Lashley from
I remember Lashley from way back. Again, that's why I was shocked that he was still there, and
I know.
And over a decade has not gotten notably better, which is pretty sad, and still can't.
Which is interesting to think about Drew McIntyre, who is basically where he is now is a decade in the making.
Yeah,
that we saw on WWE.
But when you've got them cutting, furloughing, and cutting employees left and right.
And Bobby never came up.
Well, forget Bobby. I mean, at least there's some used to him. Look, he's a freaking beast. Okay, I got it.
Sure.
Why is MVP there?
You've
got other... R-Truth's still around, isn't he?
R-Truth is still around.
Okay, why can't he be Lashley's manager? He'd be a better mouthpiece than MVP.
God damn, that's genius.
Well, right now he's fighting with him.
You're right.
Well, so they can hug and kiss and make up, and Lashley can be his bodyguard.
He would be a great...
That would... Yeah. We could... Okay. Okay, let's armchair book this.
Honestly, you could say R-Truth should manage blank, and I'm behind it, honestly.
So here's how we do this. We go... He gets a divorce from Lana. That's already happened. Yeah. He did it Monday. Now we have he gets mad at MVP for whatever reason. He's
hooking up with Lana.
Right. There it is. Perfect. We lose him. Mm-hmm. R-Truth comes in and says something crazy, calls him the junkyard dog or something like that, and says, I want to manage you. I want to manage you, Ron Simmons. And and
I like the JYD, and then Lashley can come out wearing a big toe chain around his neck.
There it is. We come out and grab them cakes. Oh, man. Are you kidding me? Vince, you need to call us up, baby. You got a writer's team right here. We're going to make millions, guys.
And then somehow he convinced him to wear some JYD tights.
Yeah, just because. And get him to do the knee thing. And
just a big thump across his backside.
there it is. Perfect. I mean, he's already there.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we have to do. Yeah, it's that easy. And are you telling me this won't get over? Are you?
Look,
can you imagine the clickbait that you're going to get on this?
These 3 minutes going back and forth is more entertainment than MVP has provided in his entire career.
I agree. Look, MVP showed up at the Royal Rumble this year, and you got to mark a little bit because it was like, hey, this is one of the old schoolers, and hey, there's MVP. You know he's not going to win, but they do this. And you're like, hey, there you go. And that's fun to watch. And he's wearing his Wakanda.
Wakanda.
I don't.
Don't worry, Dave. I got it.
His Watauga County.
Oh, my God. See, now you're doing it on purpose.
I don't watch.
You're doubling down on purpose.
I don't.
Now.
Well, no, that
I don't
does
watch
make
Superman.
Sense. That does make sense.
So I don't.
Start throwing cards at you.
It's a good analogy. See, T'Challa would be the Black Panther of Wakanda.
Yes.
And MVP would be the Black Panther of Watauga County.
Okay. That's fair. So he
it's
showed
like
up
worse than the dollar store version of the Black Panther MVP.
So he showed up at the Royal Rumble, and someone forgot to tell him that was the only date he needed to be there for, and he just kept showing up.
Yeah. And then a couple of weeks ago, he was the Punisher too. So
and it was like it was either Money in the Bank or some. I think it was Money in the Bank. He came out, and all of us were surprised that he was there.
Yeah.
So somebody in the back fed him at the Royal Rumble, and now he just won't go away.
Right. He's a stray cat. That's the
quickest way to buy someone's loyalty.
Yeah. You give MVP Tree Fitty, and he's going to keep coming back.
I ain't giving you no Tree Fitty.
I gave him Tree Fitty last week.
I gave him $1.
Damn
I gave him $1.
Yeah, keep giving the MVP Tree Fitty. He's just going to keep coming back.
Here's MVP again. Hold on, let me see if I got Tree Fitty.
It was about this time I realized that was not a Girl Scout. It was an old has-been from the Ruthless Aggression era. Oh, God. Yeah, this is much better than the pay-per-view. Now, speaking of, we about to get bad now. This match, I gave it a 3. I loved watching Bobby sell.
Yeah.
We got a good angle, and we're moving somewhere.
I gave it a 2.5.
2.5?
That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. I think I had originally gave it a 2.5, and I moved it up the second time I watched it. But this one, the Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders. All right.
I've said it before. When it's done well, I love me some Looney Tunes bullshit.
Sure. The stampede in the arena was insane. It was good.
Yeah, it was insane in a good way. It was clear people worked together and figured that shit out. What we saw,
I thought Akira Tozawa was fired. I thought he got fired, or I thought he got fired a long time ago, and then I heard again that he was one of the people that got furloughed.
Well, they're continuing on with this because
what?
This was so bad, and I wish I was making this up, but I'm not. It was hilarious that it happened. This was so bad. So I don't have satellite or cable. I stream everything.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I just cast everything to my television from my phone.
Right.
Gotcha.
This skit was so god awful that my feed quit working. I had to watch there was only one more 20-hour long match after this, but like my feed would not work back to my television after this skit. That's how awful this skit was.
Someone was looking
It killed
out
my
for it.
feed.
Yeah. Someone was looking down on you and smiled and said, "Give him a break." And
This would have been merely just or bad until they decided to start throwing in flashbacks.
Yeah.
Flashbacks.
no. That's perfect.
I'll allow
Barnes.
for a lot. But flashbacks are not happening.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect way to say this. It was bad standing on its own.
And a flashback that segued into a terrible running joke. That was at the end with the lady.
Yeah, well, that's several weeks of that.
Right, exactly.
Of them going, "You're cute. You're not so much." Okay, and I know what we're doing. I know what you're doing. You're trying to play on the. You're trying to get yourself another Otis from Heavy Machinery. That's what we're trying to do here. It ain't working. He ain't that guy. Number one.
That's Ivar, right?
Yeah. Number one, these guys were the War Raiders. They came into NXT and they murdered people. They straight up murdered people. Mm-hmm. And they were scary. Mm-hmm. And then they came in and we did, right off the bat, they should have never called them up in the first. God, okay, I got to calm down.
It's all right.
They should have never been called up in the first goddamn place.
Yes.
Because as soon as they got there, they didn't know what to do with them. Because they're like, well, we can't call them the War Raiders. We'll call them the Viking Experience. And what in the hell kind of name is that? And later on, they say, okay, well, the Viking Experience, that's silly. We'll just call them the Raiders. And a couple weeks of that. And now we're going to go, okay, we're going to call them the Viking Raiders. Just call them the damn War Raiders and let it go and let them be badasses. But no, we couldn't do that. We, as if I had a say in it. They don't return my phone calls. No, they couldn't live with it. No, we've got to make these guys silly and hokey, and we got to make them like Heavy Machinery. Heavy Machinery is a badass. They're some badasses, but they're fun. Mm-hmm. And they're blue collar strong. The gimmick makes sense for them to get a little. You took two badasses. You know what you did? You took the sheep herders and you made the bushwhackers. That's what you did.
That's a fair comparison.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to point out real quick. Ivar used the Force.
Yeah, he called a turkey leg to his hand like Thor does Mjolnir.
And it ended on a separate Star Wars reference.
Yeah,
because they all end up in a dumpster and a tentacle starts coming out of the bottom.
Okay, so I want to say something about this.
Yes,
match.
please.
Oh no, this is your realm, man.
So what we've seen during COVID is a lot of overproduced pre-recorded matches.
Yeah.
And there are times when this concept has worked, even in bad matches. Like
Bray
specifically,
Wyatt.
Yeah, well, that was it. That was that was not even a wrestling match. That was a pre-recorded. That was basically a short film, and that's why that worked so well.
Right.
The Stadium Stampede match was essentially a short film, and that's why that worked so well. But when you're dealing with a match like this, I'm sure everybody knows what it is, but you have to work within your suspension of disbelief.
Right.
And they just cannot seem to consistently get that right. So as bad as the first Edge and Orton match was at WrestleMania, mm-hmm. at least they played your suspension of disbelief.
Sure.
Everything looked natural. It looked like you were watching it live. If you hadn't known that it was pre-recorded, you might not have been able to guess that. Mm-hmm. And then at the AEW, or no, it was at the NXT pay-per-view, the match that I watched.
The takeover, yeah.
Yeah, the takeover pay-per-view.
With it was Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole.
Yeah. That pay-per-view looked as bad as the AJ Styles and Undertaker match from WrestleMania, because now you're ruining your suspension of disbelief by showing the cameramen, by showing the lights. You are aware that you are watching a production.
Yeah.
And that's, in a different way, that's what killed me and angered me so much about this match, is because you are completely ruining the suspension of disbelief that you are actually watching the thing that you are here to watch, which is a fucking wrestling match. That is what we all signed up for when we watched this pay-per-view. Either give me a well-produced, well-shot, well-done short film that is tangibly related to wrestling, or give me a match that you can suspend your disbelief and believe that you're watching live. Don't give me this weird nonsense.
Preach. Go, Hensley.
And it's important to hear that from Dave, who ostensibly has the least interest in wrestling among us.
Right.
But the most interest in filmmaking.
Exactly.
Which is what these are trying to do.
It was
Chris hit the nail on the head with. I mean, it was terrible in the first place, but the flashback crap was just so beyond.
I can't say who will all follow my thinking, but it was Disney Channel sitcom level of stupid.
It was that campy and that cheesy, but with none of the.
It was an insult to the intelligence of everyone watching it.
Now, I scoured the internet for comments on this match. We are 100% across the board. Nobody liked this. Nobody.
I was reading tweets out while the match was almost over.
Yeah.
Just of people hating this.
I could not find a single person that liked anything that was happening here.
And wasn't, maybe I just blocked it out of my mind or whatever. It's just so terrible. But was there a tag title supposed to be involved?
Yes.
Actually, hold on. I can answer that, because it was going to be the thing that made me the angriest. I was going to bring it up next. At the end of this terrible joke with no punchline, the female ref who does the callback reference says, "Hey, you guys need to hurry up and get back inside. Your match hasn't even your match is next. Your match isn't.
It hasn't started yet."
That was what I screamed, basically.
Yeah, I did too. I sat up and I was like, "That wasn't the fucking match."
So they just didn't have a tag team match because of that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was the case, and so that again just makes it even more infuriating.
Yeah, it was a bait and switch.
So we're gonna take the tag titles, and then just piss all over them, and then make this the next to this is the next to last.
This is the semi-main.
Yeah, this is the semi-main.
Above
this is the next
both
thing
of the title matches.
This is the draw. This is usually the feature match, the one you're paying to see. Like, you want to see the main, but this is the one that this is.
You've got Universal title, WWE title, and then next you've got the main event. Like Doggz just said, this is supposed to be we're going to bring everybody back up from the previous matches. We're going to get them stoked and ready so that our main, that is the selling point, has all this energy. And I know there's no
staircase,
crowd, but that's how you do it. And to come in here in the semi-main and say, hey, this is the tag team title match, and give just this overly produced, terribly done, campy, bullshit skit is
Dustin.
an insult to anybody that's ever watched filmmaking, television, wrestling, cartoons, a podcast, YouTube video, a freaking commercial.
Hit him again.
Anything. It is terrible.
God, and a reminder, this is pre-recorded. They could have moved this around in any order they wanted to.
Anything they wanted to do.
Or not put it on there at all.
Or maybe
had a match.
Let's have an IC match from Daniel freaking Bryan, the best guy in the company right now. But no. You've all but ruined the tag belts anyway.
Maybe they were going the opposite logical thinking of, well, we're hyping this main event to be the greatest match ever, so let's put the shittiest shit that we can put. That was
a passing conspiracy theory I had, where it's like, okay, if they lower the bar this far, then
let's get to the bottom of the pit,
then the main event can sail over the bar.
And then whatever comes next is going to have to look good.
Yeah. I genuinely entertained that theory in my head. I was like,
that's strong. I'll be honest. I hadn't thought of that, but that's pretty strong.
It's still terrible.
Oh my God. This is my lowest
because
rating.
Arguing that would put you in the position of having to defend what you just watched.
I know. See, and this is what I hate about, people like Dustin that used to watch wrestling religiously and don't watch it anymore. And then I have to try to defend it. And then they give me shit like this. And they're like, I just watched it. What kind of horse shit is this? And I got nothing. I can't defend this. And that's why I gave it my lowest rating that I have ever given since we started this. This is a -5 Meltzers.
I gave it a -20. Actually, it ought to be a black hole. You know, if you're giving star ratings, like
from which no
hole,
stars can escape.
No light, no joy, no anything can escape from this black hole of nothingness.
I think originally when I watched it, I gave it like a 0.
You did. I think
That's too high.
And then I watched it a second time and I couldn't get through it.
Yeah.
I can't do this a second time to myself.
And I don't blame any of the people that were in it. I blame everyone who had a hand in directing it.
I don't blame the Street Profits or the Raiders. Man, they made a paycheck, and God bless them for it.
Yeah.
Is it make that money, boys? Do what you do. But as a fan, as a mark, as a former wrestler, I don't have words.
I believe I said at some point in the middle of this, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Now, if there is a silver lining in this match, it would be the introduction of Boa.
Oh, yeah.
Boa was the large black ninja that we saw.
I believe they're continuing forward with that, too.
Yeah, I saw he made an appearance on Raw. He didn't do anything.
No.
But he made another appearance on Raw.
He just stood there menacingly.
Yeah. So I hope we get to see something good out of him. Again, I don't. Why is Tozawa back? Why? I mean,
well, who else is going to lead ninjas?
What's Tajiri doing? I mean,
not this crap.
That's probably what it was. He was like, "Yeah, no."
I'm not getting on a 16-hour plane ride. What about Billy
Wang Yang? Can we not get him on?
Tajiri's like, I'm not getting on a 16-hour plane ride.
I don't know. Yeah, -5. Now, this is going to be our most discussed thing. We have Edge versus Randy Orton. Just because. This is the greatest wrestling match ever.
This is important for some reason.
I think what they wanted to do here was they wanted to wash away that embarrassment that was the no holds barred what the hell was that?
That was Last Man Standing.
There you go. Last Man Standing in the Performance Arena. Mm-hmm. I think that's what this was supposed to be.
I'm always going to love certain aspects of that match, specifically them killing a cameraman and multiple times having to yank someone out of the background because they were doing work that they didn't realize they were going to be fighting.
Right. Okay. Let's start. Let's do our compliment sandwich here. There's some things I like.
There is,
this. Yeah. I like the MSG microphone coming down, making
they're
working it.
That was a nice touch, and I honestly thought that was a nice tribute to Finkel.
I love the fact that they overdubbed Finkel's voice.
Yeah.
To have him announce Edge and Randy Orton, that was great.
As leery as I was of the match, I thought that was a nice little. It made me think, oh, this is going to be a little more fun than I thought it was. Like there's a touch of interestingness to that presentation.
I like that Little Nate's Charles Robinson was there with the bow tie and the off-color blue shirt.
Yeah, the classic boxing / WCW referee.
Yeah, man. Oh, That I like that.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to say something a little controversial here.
Okay.
I liked the overdubbed crowd. I liked it. Reason why we've talked about this before. I believe Katie has said something about this a couple times, and I like it. The overdubbed crowd, it gives you some white noise for what would be a match that we would be watching in the old building during practice, or during training rather. It's that white noise to cover it. That there was some good story in this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, having said that, this match was too damn long.
Yes.
We knew it was going to be. It was just as long, I believe, as their last man standing match.
It has to be in that same realm.
I mean, I think the last man standing match was like 45 minutes, something like that.
And I think it was longer a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and this one was like 40 something minutes, so like 41, 42 minutes.
It was longer than that because it was almost an hour. Was
it really?
Yeah, it was just short of being an hour, I think.
Okay, well, I mean that would tie into it. Regardless, this match would have, I don't know if I'd have still called it the greatest match ever, but it would have been a damn fine match if it had been 30 minutes.
Yeah, they could have cut it in half and called it the greatest wrestling match of this card.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was.
It was.
It absolutely was.
Even at this length, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dustin, give me some thoughts. What are you thinking? What say you?
All right, so going with the compliment portion of it, I really dig the psychology of them. Everybody knows that these guys have had legit real injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime you're working a real injury into the psychology of a match is always a good thing.
Right.
So, and then again, kind of like McIntyre did, to have both those guys continue on, and as we just said, this was a long match.
Mm-hmm.
So even at the end of this long match, to continue to be selling Edge with the neck, Orton with the shoulder, I always appreciate seeing stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm kind of 50-50. I mean, I liked it, but at the same time, it kind of irked me. But I'm going to go more on the light side of them alternating other people's finishers.
I knew you were coming to it. That's why I wanted you to go.
It was.
So, I mean, it's entertaining. It really is.
It was supposed to be a tip of the cap to their favorites.
Right. But at the same time, you kind of say, well, it kind of lessens, everything. Just kind of nowadays when you've got wrestlers that used to use other people's finishers that are now just segue moves and stuff now.
Oh yeah.
So when you throw these in back to back to back to back, it kind of lessens the impact of them later on.
Absolutely.
Plus, there was an initial burst of confusion. It's like, why did Edge do a rock bottom?
And the Three Amigos.
Yes.
The Three Amigos I liked. I got it. I understood it. I was down.
Randy doing it.
Yeah.
Randy doing it after the angle he had immediately following Eddie's passing.
Mm-hmm. The pedigree.
Yeah.
I like it. I get it. It made sense.
The unprettier.
Yeah.
The unprettier.
I get
fun. It was fun. Christian, right?
That one made the most. That one made the most sense.
To me, that one made sense. It's Edge and Christian. Edge hit that, and I was like,
there it is.
I love it.
I love it.
Great.
Yeah, great stuff.
It's a gift from Christian. There you go.
Kind of like you said with Orton and the pedigree. Okay, so evolution. You got Hunter and Randy and all, so that it makes sense. But what Chris was just saying, Edge with the rock bottom. It's like, okay, why?
It's a little more. Okay,
what's the connection there?
And plus, I don't know if your thoughts on Flex Cabana have changed or not. But yeah, that's a deep pull, isn't it?
That is. Oh man.
Have your thoughts on Flex changed?
They have.
Good.
They
Good.
Have. He's still a better heel than a face.
Oh yeah.
And but he's too likable.
That
no matter how many times they try to make him heel, they can't do it.
I mean, I think the last time they genuinely tried it was when he had just come back from filming some movies, so they tried to make him all Hollywood.
Yeah.
I know the one time they tried when he was when they'd come into the WrestleMania match with him and Hogan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah. Oh god.
when after that was over, I know they tried the next couple weeks, and he did the all boo, yeah, bye, you bunch of damn sheep, you know. That,
you can't.
That was great, but he's got too much charisma.
It made him love him even more because he
Yeah.
just got funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. Too much. It got to be a little too much there.
Yeah.
The stunner in the corner there. Okay, number one, you didn't do it right, and it was weird. You made me start to question things. It's when you did that. I was like, "What? Was that supposed to be a stunner, or was that the?" And then later on, they did a stun gun. Like right after it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Okay, was that supposed to be stunning Steve Austin? Is that a tribute? But what are you doing?" All right. So I get it. It was a tribute.
So you're saying this wasn't the greatest match in the world? It was just a tribute?
Yeah.
It was kind of like watching. If you remember the old WCW Nitro game on the N64 back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Where you could steal the other person's
absolutely.
finish. That's
Yeah.
what that.
And in fact, yeah, they included that in some of the 2K games too later
Okay.
on, where they would give you you had a perk where you could steal the other guy's finisher.
Yeah. That's what it was like. There was also, and I know, I know where we're at. So before you guys, I'm not even answering your damn comments anyway. But before you guys start DMing me, just hold the phone while I say this. Too much kicking out of finishers.
Yes.
Now, I know that's where we're at, but I know that's where we're at, where we kick out of your finisher doesn't mean anything. Nobody's finisher means anything anymore. Okay, there was way too much of it this time.
I don't
way
know.
too much.
I don't know.
I was fine with the
What?
blown off attempts.
Yeah.
With the like with the RKO getting shoved back or edges.
dodging and stuff like
dodging's
Yeah,
great.
that's good wrestling psychology.
Yeah,
or the in a long match, I hit you with the RKO and I'm just so worn out.
You can't capitalize.
I take 10, 15 seconds before I make the cover.
Yeah, yeah.
Boom. But boom, I hit the spear, cover, 1-2 kick out. 1-2 kick out.
No.
I don't know what irks me more. The continue in a wrestling match, not just this one, but in general. I don't know if it irks me more when you've got the constant finisher kick out or when you've got the going into pinfall reversal sequences in the first minute of a match.
Oh yeah.
Those are both equally infuriating to me.
Can I take us down a slight side trail here for a second since you mentioned the spear? Dustin, if I can take you back in time to say, I believe it was probably around 2003. You and me had a match, and you were about to hit me with a spear, and I leapfrogged over it, and you hit the referee.
Yeah, that was great.
I just thought about that, and I was like, "That was." I have seen that spot now about 6 or 7 times since you and me did it. I think I've seen it once before we did it, and it wasn't really done right. I've never been more proud of a spot that I was a part of in my life.
Yeah, I'll mark out for that one. I'll
Yeah.
say that one. Like I said, you looking at the big timers.
Yeah.
You've seen plenty of people throw spears now, and plenty of them have dodged and hit referees, and it's always an Olay or a push the guy doing the spear.
Mm-hmm.
But just the leapfrog. I mean, Doggz is bigger than the ref.
Yeah.
Little Mikey Payne. I said,
Yeah.
that's right.
Oh, Mikey. Yeah.
Little Mikey. But I mean, so if you're looking at it from a psychology standpoint, then hey, you couldn't see him because he's behind the much bigger guy. You go for it, hit the leapfrog, hit the ref. That's good. It's a good little spot. I like it.
And for those of you, we'll take you through a little story here. So me and Dustin are having a match. I'm the heel in this match. Dustin, the constant baby face. I've got a heel referee with Mike Payne, who
eventually, I think you'll probably be able to hear on the podcast at some point in time in the future. He was the referee, and we've been getting the better of Dustin, and we stopped in the corner to have a conversation. Mike Payne is in the corner. I'm talking to him. Dustin gets up. He gets to the other corner, and as I'm turning around, he comes flying at me. I leapfrogged over Dustin. Dustin goes through my legs and spears Mike. It was the most beautiful spot that and Mike just crumbles. Just
Lawn chair.
Oh man, just folded up and just slowly kind of oozed out of the ring. I just thought about that, and sorry, had to take you down that road for a second. Had to reminisce. Haven't seen this man in a while. Speaking of spears, I hate Edge's spear.
I've never liked it.
Oh,
I hate
there's a
Bobby
reason.
Lashley's spear.
It has a nickname on the internet. It's called a running hug.
Yeah. I also hate Roman Reigns'. I hate spears.
So as much as work rate wise, I know I and pretty much anybody else that enjoys wrestling probably despises them. I think Goldberg has the best spear. Yep, I said it.
Oh boy, thank you for listening to This Is a Work.
So,
this show is
okay.
officially canceled before there's violence in my studio.
Katie's never going to let you hear the end of this, dog.
I say that's what I was about to say. Jesus Christ, I'm never gonna hear the end of this.
Yeah,
Fuck,
yeah.
Dustin.
I mean, at his best, he had, probably the best spear.
I mean, he's the only, seriously, he's the only one that threw his whole body into it. Everybody else's, from Rhino to Reigns to Edge, is just the running hug.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. I'm not.
Except for mine. Mine was awesome.
Yes, it was. Jesus, there's going to be no living with Katie after this.
It's as of recently, Goldberg hasn't done super well, but
I don't even want to do the rest of this podcast.
Dogs, the more you drag your feet, the longer this match
It's
takes.
okay. You don't have to. I just canceled it. Instead of this episode, I'll just release an apology.
So, Randy Orton goes over in a match.
Tells Edge to go home and be a family man.
Yeah.
So you saw where Edge tore his tricep?
Yeah.
He did tear his tricep.
And when we went back and looked at it, you can kind of see it in his armpit where it was bruising up.
Now, I found out some interesting tidbits.
Yeah.
This match was recorded 3 times.
Oh my God.
It was the last time that he tore his tricep, which is why when we were looking for it
Earlier, we couldn't see it.
couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So we don't really know where it came from. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. But again, you recorded this 3 times, you fixed some botch spots, but you couldn't cut the damn thing? Come on, you know the attention span. You've got the data in front of you, man.
That's where people have gotten misled over the years, because you look at all the classic, actual, some of the greatest wrestling masters of all time.
Yeah.
With Flair and Steamboat, with Steamboat and Savage. With,
Oh, God.
I mean, when you look at those, and they're longer matches. So
Flair and Steamboat was an hour.
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. 6 days a week and twice on Sundays.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the one in particular I'm thinking about was it WrestleFest? Where they were wrestling for points? And it was when Terry Funk started. Was that WrestleFest?
I think so. When talking about Funk's heel turn at the end.
Yes.
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 Now, going back to my earlier point about overproducing these pre-recorded matches and suspension of disbelief, for the majority of this, had you not told me that it was pre-recorded, I would not have been able to tell, except for the fact that right off the bat, one of the very first shots after they ring the bell is a really low shot looking up between them as they locked up that no cameraman naturally would have been able to get had this been a live match.
I hate seeing those shots in wrestling.
Yes,
matches. I hate them so much.
Yeah.
I've mentioned it before, and like Mick Foley writes about it in his autobiography, the shot for the empty arena match of when he goes to pin The Rock.
Oh my God!
The pallet,
So, the pallets.
the shot of The Rock on the floor. Ah! Yeah, that's it. That's
the Austin Powers steamroller.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Anytime I see a shot like that, I'm immediately angry. And to kind of counter what you said about the crowd noise, the crowd noise did help. It helped a lot. It also highlighted highlighting the fact that, well, if you're going to do that, then just go ahead and do it for the show.
Right. Just do it for the whole show. I mean,
they had to go back through audio and cherry pick crowd noise and cheers for this. And also, they weren't doing very well to disguise the fact that it wasn't syncing up with the actual crowd.
Yeah, that was the other thing. It was just a little bit off.
And someone pointed out, I didn't catch this. They also apparently went back and re-recorded commentary.
They did, and that was off too.
Because you would catch moments where there was one particular shot someone pointed out where a clip where they had Samoa Joe saying some things, and you see him in the corner of the shot just sitting there quietly.
And
speaking of commentators,
Yes.
I think we're going to say the same thing. Go
Michael
ahead.
Cole is still fucking terrible.
Horrible.
God, he's terrible. He's way fatter than I remember him.
Yes.
But he's just as terrible as he always was.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe, however,
Very good.
I think that now, were you a Samoa Joe fan back in the day?
I was.
Well, things have changed. He's not great anymore. However, his commentary, I've listened to commentary with him now a few times. This is where he needs to be. He's getting in. He was putting over, and I rarely discuss the commentary on this podcast, but Samoa Joe, he is putting over these horrible matches that have fell before us, and he's going for it, man.
He is.
He's talking about about Lashley, and Drew Lashley's doing whatever it's gonna take for him to win. Oh man, he's doing such a great job. This is where he needs to be, and we let's get rid of Byron Saxton, Michael Cole, and we can keep that young kid. What's it, Brian? Is that his name?
I don't remember. I have no idea.
Skinny white kid with the black hair. No, nothing. It doesn't matter. But yeah, let Samoa Joe be color. Let him be the straight man. And just we don't need 3 commentators anyway. It's all it does is get in your way. You don't need it. You don't need it. You need 2 commentators. You need a bell keeper, and some decent wrestling. That's it. That's all you need. When you got 3, 4, 5 commentators, you're spoiling the broth. It's not working out. I like this match. Again, there were some things I didn't like about it, but I gave it a 3.5. What do you think, D?
I got a solid 3 on it. I will say the my favorite part of the match was the Flair-worthy alternating chop fest.
Oh yeah.
Going from laying flat on the backs on the mat to up to their knees to finally standing up, and this.
I forgot about that. That was some fun.
I loved it.
Yeah,
it was great.
That was great. Okay, what do you got?
Well, I just I enjoyed it as well. I would have enjoyed it more if they had just been a little more hands off post editing.
I agree. And again, you could have edited this thing down.
Oh, that's the thing about these recent shows.
That's all these things you could have fixed all of this. You have the technology.
You had options. This is not a live show.
Right. So I guess what we're saying is, Vince, fire your production team and hire me.
Yeah, and then hire us to write your story for you. Oh my God, can you imagine, guys? Can you imagine? Overall, I gave this whole pay-per-view a 2, and that's just about as nice as I can say it. And honestly,
that's higher than I expected. Honestly,
that's
yeah, same. I thought it was going to be much lower.
that's a 1 for Drew and Bobby and a 1 for Edge and Randy.
Okay.
Dustin, what do you think?
I would agree with the 1 for each of those, but I'm still going to give a 1 overall because of that dark black hole.
Oh God!
Prior to the main event.
God, I keep forgetting that happened.
We're all trying to.
That's your brain protecting itself.
It is. Okay, Fashion Plate. Okay. Let's do this thing.
All right.
I want to know best dressed. What do you got?
That's actually kind of hard this time around.
Yeah, it is hard. This one. This one's.
Honestly, I mean, nothing really stood out, so I'll go with Zelina. Zelina usually dresses really well for the events.
Yeah, always hot. Dustin Fowler, let me get your best dressed in this.
So best dressed, I'm gonna go with the man we were just talking about, old Samoa Joe on commentary.
There you go. Right on. If I had to go with anybody on this, I gotta go with Andrade.
Okay.
Coming out to the ring, he's got his white suit on now. Look, he's smooth, man. He's right there beside Zelina. Look, Zelina's looking hot. I almost gave it to Lana, but I'm so angry at that match that I just couldn't. Okay, you got one for us, Hensley? Not for yours yet. Best dress.
Best dress? No, I have nothing.
Okay, I didn't think so. All right, worst dress, Barnes. What do you got?
It's a tie.
Okay.
First, number 1 with a bullet is Nia Jax.
You don't like the outfit?
I'm just saying, if there was a circus operating in the same city at the same time, it was missing its main tent.
Long Walk Productions is not responsible for the commentary on this podcast.
Oh, I am. I'll take ownership of this.
God, I love you, Barnes. That's
all I could think about when I was watching her. It was.
I can't even do it.
Nia Jax's Big Top Adventure.
Okay, Dustin, what do you think?
Hold on, I got one more.
Oh, that's right. You said a tie. Go ahead.
And this one is just because it's a minor quibble, and I'm gonna have to say, I like the long tights on Bobby Lashley. I don't like the color.
You don't like the color?
It's such a bland brown. I think something even slightly brighter would stand out way better on him.
Like Ahmad Johnson red.
Even that, yeah.
Actually, you know what? That's probably not bad.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
It doesn't have to be super bright, but to me, it's like the issue you had with Brody Lee's tights when he faced Moxley. Mm-hmm. On him, that gray outfit just was kind of blah. And for him, it's going to sound worse than it is, but it's for his skin tone.
Yeah,
I think brighter colors stand out way better.
And you know, I said I wasn't going to do this, but I did have a DM.
Yeah.
That was kind of not really getting on us, but commenting on why we do the best dressed and worst dressed. Well, I'll tell you why we do this, because wrestling is an aesthetic.
Yeah.
And
part of what gets you over is what you're wearing.
Yeah, and it's what matters. And honestly, it just made me think about another reminiscent time. Now, I'm not going to say the person's name. I'm not going to put anybody on blast here, but there was somebody that me and Dustin were just ridiculed mercilessly because they had a singlet, and it was and then they had pants for over the singlet, but then they had some white boots with some lips, and
like kissy lips.
No, just white boots with lifts.
Oh, lifts.
Yeah, lifts.
Okay, sorry. I heard lifts.
And with the gray and the white, and then he would tuck the pants into the boots. So it really it looked like.
Did you wrestle with Jeff Hardy?
No. It looked like Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, because I mean,
do you remember this? Okay,
because tights would go into the boots, but pants should go over it.
Yeah, because
they're pants.
I think I said we ridiculed him a lot until he changed the singlet and the pants, and after he did, it looked a lot better.
Right,
but but yeah. So anyway, I had to go down that memory road too. Dustin, what do you have for worst?
Jeff Hardy.
Jeff,
yeah,
by far. Between the fishnets and all is one thing, but I can't. I'm sorry, I can't get over stupid face paint. Like
there it is.
I mean, somebody somewhere obviously spends well over an hour doing that face paint for him to sweat it off in half a bump.
I have a
terrible
theory that must be an old mesh shirt of his because it was weirdly torn around his belly button.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think at one point, the second time I watched it, he tore it way easy, and he picked him up by the shirt on purpose twice, which makes me think he was supposed to have torn that shirt completely off. So after going back and watching it twice, I came to that conclusion. Now let's go to David Hensley. All right, best performance, sir. What do you have?
All right, for best performance. Now both of these came from the same match.
Yeah.
Best, I've got the tentacle monster in the trash pit from the Street Profit and Viking Raiders match.
Okay. All right.
It's truly the best thing I saw all night.
Okay.
Now go ahead and ask me the worst.
Okay. What do you have for the worst?
Literally everyone else in the Viking Raiders and Street Profits match.
It was so bad.
It was so bad.
So, like, you expect these type of shenanigans from the Street Profits because, well, that's what Vince has made them to be. But the Raiders, come on, man, there's just a lot of disappointment. Dustin, what do you have for best performance?
Well, I'll go ahead and knock worst out of the way because there's no contrarian to that. The worst performance is everything about that black hole of despair, the Viking Raiders,
That
Street Profits bullshit skit.
That blood-soaked hellscape.
Worst by far. Best, I'm going to go to McIntyre.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Absolutely.
I said the sale from before the opening bell after getting jumped through the entire match to after the match. I was just and with it being probably at some point chopped up somewhere in production, especially since Lashley almost murdered him.
Yeah.
to still have that continuity through it. Right. Even knowing that it's been chopped and dropped here and there. And so he was doing a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. I can dig all of this. I can. I gotta say, the Street Profits versus the Raiders was easily the more I think about it, it is the worst thing that I've seen. Some bad shit. I mean, and I'll even include Hulk Hogan's movies in this. This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
You, me, and Stan reviewed Assault on Devil's Island, the Hulk Hogan classic.
I'm still sad I missed
which was still worse, was still better than the Street Profits and Viking Raiders.
Ready to Rumble.
Yeah, which was still better than this Street Profits and Viking Raiders match.
Hulk Hogan does a kata in Assault on Devil's Island.
Yeah.
Just wrap your head around that.
At least Assault on Devil's Island had Carl Weathers in it. You know what the Street Profits and Viking Raiders match could have used? Carl Weathers.
Yeah. Or Shannon Tweed's boobs.
Or that, yeah. I'd have taken either of those things over what we got.
Yeah.
They couldn't even get Ron Simmons to just stand there at the side and go, damn.
Right. You know what?
Which is how they used to punctuate a whole bunch of terrible sketches they've done.
If that would have happened at the end of the sketch, that might have saved it from getting a -5. I might have given it a -1, maybe a 0. But yeah, absolutely. Well, Dustin, all I can really say is, it's been tough for all of us.
That doesn't sound like an I'm sorry.
Hopefully we can have you back sometime for a better pay-per-view.
Honestly, I've really enjoyed this. This has been a little slice of heaven. I really appreciate you coming on tonight.
Oh, yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, and I'd love to have you back. Maybe we can get you back for an AEW pay-per-view. They're much more enjoyable. It's well, Hensley, you got anything?
No, not really, because after next week's episode of Long Walk Talks, this will have wrapped up our 5 straight weeks of new episodes.
Yeah.
But it's going to be, I think, August until we have another NXT TakeOver pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. And the next WWE pay-per-view, Extreme Rules, isn't until July 19th. Mm-hmm. So this upcoming week, Long Walk Talks is going to be continue our coverage of the Quarantino discussion by discussing From Dusk Till Dawn and his segment of the anthology movie 4 Rooms.
Dustin, are you a Quentin Tarantino fan?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you really should listen to the past episodes of Long Walk Talks where if anybody else has missed any of them, they should really check them out. I'm a guest on one of them, and I love Quentin Tarantino, and there's just some really good stuff on here. It's worth a listen.
I'm excited about the one coming up.
Yeah.
From Dusk Till Dawn. I love
Dusk Till Dawn is
From Dusk Till Dawn.
One of my favorites. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that was it. After that, we're going to be back to a much more staggered release schedule than we've been for the last couple of weeks.
Right on. Now, I don't want people to forget our sister podcast, This Is a Takeover. They just finished up NXT TakeOver.
In Your House.
In Your House, thank you.
A great episode. I can't recommend it enough.
I just blanked out on it, and it was really, really good. Ladies, I did watch the pay-per-view, and I thought you guys had some very astute thoughts on it. And
yeah, you 90s kids are all right.
Yeah. You youngins, you're getting there. No, it was a fantastic. It's much better than any crap we're doing over here. No, they got something. They've really got something moving here. I can't wait for the next one. Dustin, you anything going on with you? Do you want people to follow you? You want to? No. Are you media social distancing?
No. I get on Facebook and piss people off and get banned for a couple of days.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that you just got out of Facebook jail.
I stay there.
Yeah.
Hardened veteran.
He's a repeat offender. If you guys want to follow me, it's at This Is a Work Podcast on Instagram. If you haven't guessed, one guy in particular has been hitting me with like 3 DMs this year. Haven't answered. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you following me. I'm not going to be answering any more DMs for a while. Not because I don't respect your questions and whatnot. And if it's something wrestling related, then yeah, I'll try to answer it. If you're going to ask me about politics or social justice or anything like that, I'm not going to answer. No disrespect to anybody, whatever side you're on. I'm just not. That's not what this platform is going to be used for. But I do appreciate you guys listening to me. I appreciate you guys supporting Long Walk Podcast, and be sure to listen to This Is a Takeover and Long Walk Talks. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it. So for David Hensley, Chris Barnes, and Dustin Fowler, this is David Two Dogs Hayes saying, if you got out of bed today and you had a job to go to, you got somebody that cares about you when you get home, folks, this match is over and you just won via pinfall. Thank you very much for listening to This Is a Work.
Thank you, listeners, and if you enjoy this show or any of our sister shows, please make sure to leave us a rating and a review on whatever platform you're listening on.
Big Top Naya.